There as well.
Nice.
They're very much alive. Can you put them in, please? Put them in the water, otherwise they'll die. No, we're gonna put them in, see?
Let's do it.
You enjoy getting wet in the morning?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
Yeah. Nice, Jimmy.
So good, eh?
Aye.
So good, man.
Alright, I'm ready now, I ain't gonna fall back down now. Alright, I'm take it on me, baby. Alright, I ever ask, are you gonna be my lover tonight? But take it with me. What if I left and it made no sense? And you tell your friends and they hold your hands, baby, never mind.
Beautiful condition. And another way to make sure that you get your scollies back home in good condition is to put a bit of that salt water into your chili bin with a couple of slicker pads, and yeah, if you can immerse your scollies in that salt water, keep them nice and cool, they'll be all good for a couple of days. If you keep that slicker pad in there, or keep changing it in and out as you need to, but I normally process my scollies that afternoon or the next morning. But yeah, just gives you a little bit more time if you're time precious. What are you up to, Pepper? Yeah, so awesome gather. The way that I do them, I flip them over so you've got your curved bottom there, flat top in the corner here. Just put the knife in on an angle, and then from there just flick it open, so that's opened up through there. You can see it's giving me a bit of tension. I just use my thumb just to hold that gap there. You've got that gap there. Put your knife down in on the angle, so we're on the curved side, curved bottom, on an angle there, and then you should just be able to push and flick, and that'll just release that one side for you, and we'll open up here, so we've got a completely clean shell. That's our curved side, and then on the top here we've got all the bits and pieces. So this bit here, you can just pull that off. That's the one of the skirts, so it should come off in a circle like that. If it doesn't, anyway, you can just flick it off. And then we've got the meat, and then we've also got the roe there as well. So what I normally do is grab the knife, trying to get the angle right here for you guys, is to cut just across here and then push down and cut underneath that meat. So not the best angle for me, but push down here and then hard up against that flat, and then just pull it around. So what you should be able to do from there is then just grab the meat. You got the meat there, and it leaves that skirt, that other skirt, on, so that stays on. So I've just cut straight under there. That's where our meat was, or the muscle from that scallop. And what I've got left is right here.
Hi.
Lily's coming in for some action. That's what
Daddy,
I've got left there.
Daddy.
Oh yeah, Oreo. Thank you. So what we've got next is got the roe, got the muscle, and there's a little bit of that brown skirt there. So we want to try and just pull that off now. Once we've got that off, we can just tidy up these little vessels through here, if you like. There's normally a little tube along there. You want to get rid of that if you can. So just sort that out. Grab that skirt there, pull the skirt off. That sounded sensual, but yeah. So you're essentially left with that, front and back, so it looks fairly similar. And then you just flick it down the hatch. Well, you can, but I'm meant to be preparing these for a gathering, so I won't eat them, but you can just eat them straight out of the thing like that. Down here there's a little bit of a sort of a stomach or material that you want to get out, or call it a tract. So you'll sometimes see that there's a bit of that brown type of texture that you can get out. That's why it's really good to actually have a bit of salt water. So once you've finished with your scollies, once you've cleaned them all up and shucked them, put them in a bowl, and then put that seawater into that bowl and just rinse everything, and then just discard that seawater at the end. Cool. Flick that there. On the end you've got a little bit of muck which you generally want to get rid of. As I was saying before, there's normally just this little here which is like a tract, and you can just get your fingernails in there and pull it out, and it just comes out in the one piece like that. So that's your scolly done and dusted. Bring that up here. Hello people. Right there. That's your scolly. All done. And yeah, we'll get the rest done in the same way. Go and share them around. Make sure you hand them on to a few people that have never had scallops before, or it might be a nice treat for them. Share the love. So what I'm doing here is just letting a bit of that salt water out of the chili, and that bung is at a perfect height, and it probably will on most chilies. But what you'll notice is that when you've had the scallops in there for even a few hours, they'll start to spit out the sand, so the sand settles on the bottom. So if you've got your bung which is above the height of the bottom of the chili bin, you'll get that clean salt water, so I just put that salt water in there, and then now I'm just gently rinsing through these scallops. And yeah, that's the way that just obviously gets a little bit of that residue or a little bit of that gunk that can sort of come with the scallops. And I'll just do that a couple of times. Put that out. And yeah, so what that gives you, it gives you a much cleaner result. So that's what I do anyway. Rather than rinsing it in fresh water, I find that the salt water seems to retain a bit more of that scallop-like flavour. So that's how I've always done it. Happy days, good as. Fresh scallies. Beautiful, good tucker in there. And that's us. So what you can do with your scallop waste is like you can use all these skirts and that, so I just keep all of that as burley. I'll just put it into a small bag, so I'll just clean all of these off the shells, and then just put it into a sealable bag, and then you can actually use it for your burley if you're going fishing or something like that, or give it to a mate. And we just end up just dumping the shells back out into the ocean as well, so they get returned back into that. The other way, or the other thing that we can do, or we do in this garden here, is that I've been taking off all of the skirts and all the extra material off that scallop, the scallop waste if you like, and been using that in the garden. So just digging a couple of holes at relative depths and then throwing bits of this scallop waste in there. So yeah, it's a good way of making that scallop waste go a little bit further, and you can use it as burley or whatever you need to. But yeah, there is a use for it, so don't just go and throw it into the rubbish bin. Go and return it back to the moana, or yeah, into your garden. If you get real keen, you can actually smash these up and add them into your garden as well. So obviously shells are pretty good for the garden. You can go to town on the sledgehammer or something like that, or you know, for paths, making paths. There's plenty of different uses for it, so make it go a little bit further, and yeah, enjoy your gathers.
What are we going to do while we're waiting here? Caught in traffic jam, going nowhere. See the rain has made a space for us to place our mind inside the sound of winter. I hear it on my window pane, calling out my name.